About ready to start. Just another couple of minutes, folks. How's the sound, by the way? When I'm speaking over it, is it, hearable? It looks that way on the mixer, but, just thought I'd ask. We can hear? Excellent, excellent. Okay, about another minute then. KV, hello, hello. Sound good? Thank you. Good to hear that, too. Love the noise and the music, too. Yeah, you should hope so. You sound like an announcer pack in a game that I play. Alright. It's pretty much time. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Q&A. It's me, SlowWolf, your friendly neighborhood community manager, and today we're going to do a Q&A based off of the stuff that we saw today. So, big news, at least for us here at Ronimo. Our game was finally announced and teased a little bit. The basic premise has been put out, and there's a bunch of information out there, and there are a lot of people who have been asking a bunch of questions. So, I knew that I was going to probably put together a stream, but apparently it's necessary that I put together a stream, so that's excellent. With that said, let's go ahead and go over the basics about what we know so far. So, we know for a couple of things. First off, the game is called Blightbound. It's been in development for... it's been an idea since the late 2017, and it was being actively developed as of really early 2018, something along those lines. Blightbound itself is a game where effectively the large story is that in order to defend the planet or the world or whatever it was, some big thing, a titan of some kind, was killed. But in the process of killing it, the world around it has become cursed, blighted in some way, shape, or form. And now, as a result, you have to go into the dungeons and figure out what's going on. You have to, well, hack and slash and smash your way through. So, that's the basic premise of the game. As far as who's making it, obviously we've been developing it, and we've had Devolver Digital's helping to publish it and promote it and, work with us on all that stuff, so that's been really, really good and helpful, obviously. And then we've had Sonic Picnic do the sound. So those are the people working on it so far. Past that, I kind of need to know what you guys want to know. So, if you have questions, go nuts. If the chat gets a little bit too fast, I might have to slow mode it. Hopefully I don't have to. But, as it stands right now, sweet. So, let's go down the list. Hello, Nibs. The SlowWolf show. Well, some kind of show. I've put SlowWolf there. Next week it'll go right back to being the Ronimo show properly. So, what engine, multiple platforms, heroes, class categories, can we reasonably expect a release date, loot, will be in it? Okay, let's go down the list. So, what engine? I believe it's a Ronimo in-house engine of some kind. As it stands right now, we've got development for Steam. I can't really comment on anything else there right now. Hero/class categories. So far, we know that there are going to be 3 different kinds of heroes, and that all 3 of them are going to be needed in a dungeon. Then you've got, let's see, when can we reasonably expect a release date? Later this year, at least. Loot? Yes. Will there be an inventory? I can't really comment on that one. Will there be an ending? No comments on that one yet either. Will there be content added to it post-launch, or will it happen only during the early access days? Does Ronimo own the IP, or does it belong to Devolver? Okay, so there's a couple of things there that I don't know again. Ronimo owning the IP or it belonging to Devolver is something that's a part of the legal department. That's something that I know immediately offhand, and for that I am sorry. As for content being added to it post-launch, continued development is based off of continued interest, really. What I can say is that based off of this, that it's not going to be a free-to-play game. So it is one of those things that's going to be like, you pay for the game, there you go. And then I also know that I can and can tell you that there should be an early access period. If you look at the Devolver digital trailer page, it does say available in early access for Steam. Eventually, not yet, but that is the initial plan. So there will be a development period where we're going to be working kind of as a community to help build the game that Ronimo wants to build in the best way that they can. That's kind of my mission, is to help relay your information to them when that time comes. But such a tease indeed. Yeah, that was a bit of a tease for sure. Awesomenauts is a pretty good game. You should check it out, probably. Not the Ronimo Expanded Universe dating sim? Yeah, that was, that was cheating. Nice lighting. Thanks. My other light bulb makes me look like a pasty-faced vampire that just walked off the set of, I don't know, a clown circus. So, you know, half of Wolf's face is Jesus? Thanks. Specifically the top half. Dungeon crawling? Yep. Face is a solar panel. That's mean. Why does the logo have a paddle in the middle? Excuse me? Pardon? A paddle? Where? I'm looking. I don't see it no place. Is it a new engine? It would have been made from the ground up, but I don't know. I'm not one of the coders. I can ask. I imagine that it will be like similar, but there's definitely been some changes. Awesomenauts being an older game, the engine has probably gone through some upgrades if they are in fact using that. So I don't know. Too fast. What else is new? Gameplay today? No, unfortunately. I've been disallowed from showing you gameplay today. However, as soon as I can, I will show you gameplay as fast as I possibly can. Light mode versus dark mode visualized 2020, pretty much. Are we getting a Linux release? I don't know about that. As it stands right now, everybody... look, I really don't know, actually. I'll ask around for that one. I'll see if I can't put out a better answer for that. For now, head on to the Discord. And that way, like, discord.gg/Ronimo, I will be there. And once I've got an answer, ping me and I'll go ahead. And I'll be happy to give it. But if there's stuff that I don't answer here today, please go to the Discord so that way I can go ahead and get you that information. Or ask me on Twitter later. I'll take a look and see if I can't find that kind of stuff. I'm also going to go ahead and make a quick rundown of different notes that I need to write down. So I'll make a new sticky note here. Okay, so platform expected. Platforms expected. Okay, cool. And I'll go ahead and put an extra note there next to it for Linux. I think was the other thing that somebody just asked for. Okay, cool. Excellent. Let's get back to it. Will it be an early access game? Yes. Can confirm that now. Ronatech is the name of the Ronimo engine, I believe. I believe that is correct, Emo. Will you play with me when the time comes? Yes. Are there RPG aspects to the characters? Yes. I can tell you right now that the characters themselves do have some developed... do have like actual development put into them in terms of creating a more immersive kind of universe. This is a bit different than Soldiers and Soldiers, which is very tongue-in-cheek, and Awesomenauts, which is, I mean, it's a MOBA. Story barely matters. But in this one, Ronimo really wanted to go ahead and push that a little bit further, so there's definitely story involved with the characters, and that's going to be very important. Is this a side-scrolling Diablo? No, it's not side-scrolling. To quote some game pundits, I think that the best way to describe it right now is a 2.5D. So there are some 2D elements, and there are 3D elements as well. The characters and monsters and everything like that are all drawn by the artists via hand. I mean, it's digitally drawn, but it's drawn via like tablet and Photoshop and time and effort and all that stuff. So there is a bunch of that, and there is some 3D modeling as well. So it's 2.5D. It's a bit in halfway and half and half. Give or take. As far as like gameplay kind of goes, it ends up like to what I've played so far, it kind of plays a lot like a Gauntlet or a Castle Crashers, where you've got, you know, where you move around and you smash things and it's a good time. But the difference is that when it comes to those more complex fights, Ronimo has made it such that when I was playing, there were moments where I felt like it was a bit of a WoW raid. It was difficult for me not to start barking orders at some of the people I was playtesting with. I'd be like, no, stack! So yeah, it's interesting so far. I'm really enjoying it so far. How many players? So it requires 3 people to play to be able to do runs. You can play this on a couch. You can just plug in more controllers and then you're playing. Or you can play online. You can do a combination of the two, where one person's on a couch and then you go searching online for matches for random thirds. But yeah, it's three. It's three people, and each one will end up needing to be one of the three different classes. The three of them need to work together, so that co-op is very important. Thanks for the answers. I'm trying my best, RP. Let's see. The enemies instantly explode. You can't Fortnite dance in the game as of right yet. When we see more gameplay, as soon as I can get it out to you, Mega. That much I can promise you. Is Ronimo recruiting alpha and beta testers? If they are, you'll know because the other Ronimos will go ahead and post them. That is not my department, funny enough. But if they are, then, well, you know, everyone will know. Question, are you wearing pants? Yes. Sweatpants, but pants. Let's not bring this down to me. So does the game contain a global progression system, or is all progression session instanced? Okay, it is a global overall thing. I still don't see the paddle. But it is very much a... It does have progressive growth, and you run through dungeons and gain experience and stuff like that. That much I can also say, because that's in a couple of different places now. So, if you want some more information on that kind of stuff, check the Steam page. Anything we can do to support? Go to the Steam page. It now exists. There is the ability to wishlist it. Wishlist it. Follow it as well. That way you can keep on top of things. Hey, Davey. What's up? Good to see you around. Will I be able to do a flip? Maybe. What is the gameplay like? Real time. It's real time, Tolkien. It is a proper hack and slashy crazy thing. Which Discord? Discord.gg/Ronimo. Ronimo. That will get you to the right Discord. Let's see. Kleenex? What? Will it be preset dungeons or randomized dungeons? Okay, I can't really go into a whole ton of detail about that one. Unfortunately. Watching the trailer, the gameplay reminds me a bit of Dragon's Crown. This is better than expected. Well, I'm glad to hear that. The gameplay for me, again, reminded me a lot of what would happen if you took, like, Castle Crashers or Gauntlet or something, and then you added in some, like, you know, some mechanics that really kind of brought things out. I so far really enjoy it. 010, he pronounces it Diablo. I said Diablo. Did I not? El Diablo Grande? Why are we talking about me? Stop it. Will Ronimo give more attention to Osmots if they are finished for now with the new game? So that's the thing. It's not finished for now. It's still very much in development. And there will be an early access period. And during that time, we're going to continue to develop the game. The main thing with it is that we're trying to create a game that on its own stands and does a really good job of it in the vision that Ronimo wants. Like, they have got a really specific idea of what they want their game more or less to kind of feel, to be like, and all that stuff. And kind of like what happened with Darkest Dungeon and some other games that went through a very successful early access period, it would be like that's kind of the goal here as well. So the community will be able to get their hands on it before it's fully released, but we're hoping to have something that works well for everybody and that kind of creates the best game possible for what it needs to be. So you can't play with 2 people, it has to be 3. That's correct, Alexius. It will be a 3 thing. There's the ability to play with other people easily enough. You can go ahead and challenge yourself and hook up a controller to sub in for that 3rd, but you need 3 people. How detailed is the combat mode? Just damage and HP, or armor protection penetration is also present? So it gets pretty complex. On the surface, there's a bunch of very basic abilities and stuff, but there are things that make it a lot more interesting. I can't go into a lot of details about that right now, but suffice to say, I would like to go back to my earlier sentiment. When I was playing in certain situations, it really did feel like I was constantly, you know, dealing with mechanics in ways that were interesting. Like, there's no real moment where it's just the tank and spank. You know, like you do have the usual RPG triangle where you got the tank, the DPS, and the healer, but all 3 of them are flexible enough that it works. More importantly, the game itself is complex enough that it works. Like, it's just... It's solid. Let's see. This is starting to remind me of Try and Cross with Castle Crashers. That's not a bad comparison. With a little bit more forced variety, but that's maybe a thing for another time. I can see Ronimo doing a good turn-based, though. Maybe one day. Not today. Is it more combat depth? Okay, we already did that. I'd say that has more combat depth than Castle Crashers and other beat-em-ups. There's just a lot more for each character to do, and a lot more that each character is relied upon to do. So yes, I would say that it is more complex, and I find that as a result it's more rewarding. Why does the SlowWolf on the overlay have a Rudolph the Red-Nosed? Slow the Red-Nosed Wolf? Look, it's because I'm bad at drawing, okay? I don't want to talk about it right now. Is the camera system also similar to Castle Crashers, with moving sections and static sections? Let's see. Yes. It will play very much similarly to other games in its genre in that 2.5D kind of vein. Because a lot of the environments are crafted that way. By the way, they're really pretty. The screenshots on the Steam page actually don't do it any justice, unfortunately. But hopefully we can get that updated with new ones. It's going to be free to play. It's not going to be free to play. It is going to be a paid game. It will start off in early access, and when it's fully released, it'll be released. But there will be an early access period. You'll be able to pay and play it at that point. It is, as far as I know, also, there's no loot boxes or mechanics like that in the game, nor are there any plans to put that stuff in the game either. So, as a consumer, I'm very pleased. Because if I was currently promoting and talking about a game that I was kind of like, about because of those kinds of mechanics, I'd be a little bit upset. But as it stands right now, I'm not upset. So that's good. Let's see. So mage class equals healer. Amongst other things, yes. Can others heal as well? Through other means, potentially, yes. Will there be a ranking system between players, seasons, and skins? So, because it's a purely cooperative game, there's no need for, like, a ladder system or anything like that. But there are definitely things that we need to think about in terms of player levels, in terms of making sure that you can play with people no matter what level they are, and it's fun and even, and you're not just being carried through dungeons, potentially. The idea of having seasons and all that stuff has not been lost on me. That's something that I've been thinking about for a little while now, and that I've been very much meaning to see how we can, how it can be implemented. The entire team is thinking about stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot on the table, but a lot of it obviously is goals. Like hashtag we have to do this later. The game needs to work first. Once there's a good core, then we can start working on the rest of it. This means that there's going to be a lot of features that are implemented over time. Seasons are on the list for sure, though, and is something that I'm very interested. Am I too late? No. Renard des Surfaces, you're not too late. Haha. So it plays like a beat 'em up. Let's go. I'm in. It plays a bit like a beat 'em up, but it's got far more to do with because of the fact that with beat 'em ups you have just basically punching, throwing, and a couple of maybe special moves. In this case, there's a lot more going on in terms of I am this character, I have these abilities, I need to be relied upon to do those abilities. So I think that's interesting. And the way that it's set up is that everybody will end up kind of having to learn how to play all of them. So that'll be interesting. Will it cost as much as Swords and Soldiers 2? I've got no idea about pricing right now, brother. I got nothing. I wish I could tell you, but I literally just don't know how much it will cost when there's a cost. Let's see. If there's global progression, do the stages and maps have difficulty or other balancing factors to allow you to play levels while overpowered or other way to play with new players without dominating the game? So right now, we are currently working on creating variable. There are things going on in terms of difficulty, in terms of allowing people to kind of choose their difficulty and such, but as far as tempering overpowered characters and bringing them back down to earth sort of deal, I don't know. I believe that's definitely a thing that's on the docket, but I can't really comment any more on that. Are dungeon runs going to be all in one sitting or continued across several sittings? It's going to end up... It's definitely one of those things where when you're doing a level, the levels are not going to be so long as to cost you 8 hours of your life. It's not World of Warcraft. Not even close. So, yeah. like, you're not gonna have to, like, you know, sit down at noon and then be prepared to, like, schedule a break for dinner. It'll take a lot less time. Let's see. Do the not yet revealed classes have as much variance as the knots have? I can't really comment on that one right yet. I'm not at liberty to say anything, unfortunately. But I can say that the classes in between themselves, so the like the warrior, the rogue/assassin, and the wizard class things, the three of them play differently enough and are relied upon for very different reasons, enough that if you're playing any one of the three, the game is drastically different compared to playing the other two. Are the playable characters voice acted for yet? Yes. Yes, they are. Sorry, Devmon. How do the loot drops work? I can't really talk about loot right now. But so far, so good. I know that means nothing, but I've enjoyed it so far. Understand the grind for loot, but the grind is a big part of the game? I would not say so. But that's all I can really say about that for right now. Does the combat take an MMO style, be more strategic and less action-oriented, or is it a skill-orientated game? I would say that it is a mix of both, but I can't really say much more than that. I will be thrilled, by the way, to be able to show you guys this stuff, because when I show you guys this stuff, this will all make a lot more sense. Oh, let's see. Can we expect different-looking environments? Yes, those already exist, so that's a good start. Will the levels be auto-generated like the Binding of Isaac? I cannot comment on whether or not they are procedurally generated like a roguelite, or whether or not they are crafted yet. Per playthrough, how long does it aim to be? Will it be possible to suspend a run halfway through and continue it later? Trying to think. It depends. From what I've seen, it takes at least, like, I think that Ronimo's currently aiming for each of the matches to take about as long as an average match of Awesome Knots. I think it's the best, is like a good estimate for it. But honestly, I have not timed myself, so I don't know. As far as pausing midway through, at the moment, there's no way, like, it's a multiplayer game, so, I mean, it's, unless if everybody decides to just stand still, I guess not. Hey, Davey, I do appreciate you saying all that. I'll keep on going, and hopefully I don't say anything stupid. Do you think the game is replayable enough? Yes. Mind you, I'm a mechanics-driven player. If something is mechanically fascinating for me, say, I don't know, Necropolis, bad game. But as a result, though, of me enjoying the mechanics enough, I really did think that it was a lot of fun to do. Like, just playing it was mechanically satisfying. So that much is all there. But then I'm also, like, really thrilled with how it looks. It's definitely in an aesthetic that I'm really into. So far, I've been really enjoying all the background stuff that I've been reading for homework, effectively. Like, reading all the backstories and all that stuff. So, I think that it's, like, straight up solid. But, and easily replayable. And it makes sense within the story, like, the story that's going on. That's all I can really say for right now, and a lot of that's up to opinion, Mega. You'll have to see the game or play it for yourself when the time comes. Will the game feature hot Johnny to fill in roles if someone leaves early? Look, that's actually a dope thing. I would love for that to be the case. If it's not on the list, I don't know what is. Like, that's definitely a thing that I think should exist. But we'll see. Will there be a mage that can just nuke everything? Because it'll be a bit boring if all I can do is heal. Okay, so none of the characters do just one thing, really. All the characters have at least 2 or 3 different things that they're expected to do over the course of a fight. And although the mages tend to rely mostly on being a fairly protective class, there's a lot of variety. Like, there are several mages, and there's variety. Enough to do stuff, so. Hey, Gul'dan, I'm doing alright. I'm doing okay. And currently crossing my arms is a form of self-reassurance. Because there are a lot of questions, and I'm really trying hard not to make any mistakes. Could more classes be added post-launch? I don't see why not. When do I get my free legendary cloak, ring, and weapons? As soon as you find the old man in the cave that says that it's dangerous alone to go alone, take this. Can I kick people over my party for standing in the fire over and over? You could always just make a new party, I expect. Can we expect any sort of new gameplay this month? Yes. Is there any cross-promotion that is going to happen between Necrovoltar, Helgoscoop? Right. As far as the other games, I don't know. I don't expect it off the top of my head, but I imagine that there might be later. As it stands right now, literally all development time is being put into this new IP. Blightbound is the baby right now at the Ronimo office, and they are going to continue to put absolutely everything into that. So, I expect that if anything does happen cross-promotionally, it'll be closer to the full release of the game, not anything to do with the much sooner early access release of the game. Let's see. Apologize if it's for the question. Never apologize. If it's been asked already, just tuned in. How will the early access work? As far as I know, early access kicks in. Content gets developed over time. We take feedback. Feedback gets turned constructively into what we want to make the game do. And then once we've got the game working the way that we want it to make, we keep going and going and going. The idea is that the early access is hopefully going to help us to identify certain things going on in the game and then create a, better version of our game over time. As, we try to make it the best we possibly can. Think of it a bit like how Slay the Spire did their early access. That's kind of the process we're aiming for. Where we're starting with, our game and it works, and then working our way up to having something that really works together and stitches well together. Average duration of AI Station. A lot longer than the average duration of a run in this game. Handcrafted dungeons. Alright, well in that case then, I am happy to tell you that, the dungeons are not procedurally generated. The dungeons themselves have other elements that make them unique when you go through them, but the fact that all the dungeons are made and designed in a specific way. So, as a result, there's lots of effort put into that, into making sure that all the dungeons work. Will there be a Kickstarter with rewards? None planned at the moment. Necropolis Rip. Yeah. They have a publisher now, so I don't see a Kickstarter. That also makes sense. We'll have custom levels like Awesome Knots. Handcrafted, yes. That's what that means. Will you please do some videos on YouTube of the game? I will. I will also be streaming on both my channels. I mean, this one's not my channel, but I'm running it now, pretty much, so... let's see. Will it be like Diablo, where you finish the game and restart everyone in a harder difficulty? So are there going to be prestige modes? We don't know yet. It's not currently in development. The thing that we're trying to do right now is just make the game at all. Thinking about prestige and everything else is currently not the immediate goal, and there are reasons for that I can't go into right now. What's going to happen to Nibs? Don't worry, Nibs is going to continue to happily roast people throughout the galaxy of the 3,000,000th millennium, of the third millennium, 3.5 millennium, 3.5 millennium. There we go. I got there eventually. I can only count to 4 in groups of 3 at max. Ribs. No, that's rude. How are the characters going to play out? Do you have different accounts to play each character? No. You will end up having one overall account, and then access to a variety of characters that you unlock over the course of play. You end up, like the description on the Steam page says, you end up collecting all of these and growing them. Eventually, you manage to you can get all of them and unlock a bunch of different things for them. So there's always something to do. And like I mentioned before, there's story aspects to each and every one of them, so there's that going on as well. It'll be interesting. I'm already really, really into it, and I just want the game to get out so that way I can play it. Every time I hop on, I'm like, we're all working. I wish I could play this thing. Is it paid early access or opted on a regular register-based system? So opted on a register-based system is closer to an open beta. We are not going to be doing that. It will be early access. And as a consumer, I can, I will always advocate for responsible early access. Look at it, do your research, see if it's your bag. If it's not, it's an early access. Let it build, let it become finished, and then buy it when you're comfortable. I know that myself personally, I'll be buying it because I've like, I want to, and it's my job. But, like, that aside, I do think that if anybody else wants to go, like, when it becomes available for that, like, you know, be responsible. Take a look at it, see whether or not it's your game, you know, your game or not. We don't want you to have a bad time. We're developing games for people to have fun. We're not developing games so that way you can go ahead and have a bad day. So, you know, be responsible with early access. That's all I'm gonna. That's the last I'll say about that for now. Are you getting Weasel, Nazif, Forecourt, and Seraph together at some point for dungeon runs? Yeah, no, I will be playing with friends. That's 100% gonna happen. And I imagine that on my own streams, when the time comes, I will have a queue that I'll just rotate through. That's going to happen. It has to happen. Let's see. Is this a game about brawling with a defined skill set, or is there deep customizability in how you build your characters? So there's not a. I can't really I can't really comment right now on deep customizability or anything going in that far. As it stands right now, I can tell you that the characters each have their own, like, strengths, and that you do want to, like, learn them. Like, it is... And because of the number of characters, there is a lot of choice. So, there's that going on. Will the game have New Game Plus modes? I don't know yet, Lynn. I don't know yet. As it stands right now, there's not an immediate need for that mechanic. That much I can tell you, but I can't tell you why. Or how we're dealing with that. Will the new game have No. Will there be additional monetization like cosmetics announcers? That one, I don't know. I believe that there's currently room being left open for things like that, but as far as I understand, there's no loot boxes. I know that Fabian has said that much, and they are not planning to have this be like it's an early access thing. It's not free to play, so I imagine that those kinds of things will be, if added at all, would be much later. It's not an immediate priority if that's what you're asking. There will be room for it probably, but that's about it. Do you keep armor across runs, or what sort of progression made across runs, if any? There is meta progression. I can't really go into too much about it, but there is meta progression. Is there anything else you can say about the main area? Will that be tied to the multiplayer, or will each player have their own? Each player will have their own meta progress. That much I can say. I can't tell you how it works right now, but you will have your own meta progress to work with. Will there be a way to artificially reduce your strength or progress so you can intentionally play self-imposed challenge runs? There are mechanics currently being developed for self-imposed challenge runs and stuff like that, and choosing your difficulty, but as it stands right now, I can't go into details about more than that. When you want to play, that's a good indicator? I hope so. Will there be a world map or just a dungeon spam? I can't really say anything about that, but I mean, you select levels. If that makes you feel any better, you'll see it when you see it. But as it stands right now, I believe that the idea is to kind of keep it more along the lines of an RPG and to keep it more immersive. So I fully expect there to be, like, you know, a fully developed world map and for updates to do stuff like change it around and stuff like that. But we'll see. Do you pay for the game and then you go to Yoast to ask your money back? I mean, I literally read my contract. And although I can, like, if they, you know, if I need to pay for a plane ticket to go to, say, an E3 or something like that, you know, I can ask for help. It says nothing about games, so I will probably just buy my own copy. Is Ronimo okay with people streaming early access? When they are okay with streaming it, they will let everybody know. I will let everybody know. I'll shout it from the rooftops. I will start streaming it. The moment that I can start streaming it, it's gonna happen. Can I burn my enemies to death? I guess? That's the opposite of every esport-driven title ever. Rude. Competition's fun. So, we'll have to adapt our character choice for a specific dungeon. It's not so much like that as it is you have to... Like, every class does its job, but it can do its job in different ways. Based off of which character it is, and you're allowed to, like... you know, customize your experience on that front a bit, but what job you get might not be immediately easy to decide all the time. I work with SlowWolf, and he is awesome. Doctor. What? Who? Who? Oh no! I'm so bad at this. Will there be NPCs which are in towns that resemble people who worked on the game? That'd be cute, but no comment. I don't know. Might any of the new game's characters be added to knots? Again, with all the development time being put into the new baby, no. No, not for the foreseeable future. No loot boxes, battle passes it is. Oh my god, rude. New Ronimo logo reveal when? Roar! Has the price been decided yet? Not that I know of. Is it split screen co-op? There will not, like, if you go far away from each other. So it'll work like other 2.5D games, where the more you spread apart, the more the game zooms out a bit. And I believe at a certain point, you like just start dragging people if you're the only one going forward. But but that's if everybody's doing couch co-op at the same time. From my experience so far, playing by myself on my computer with the other devs, you've got your own screen and it's fine. Why is the Shadow Titan such a jerk? I mean, he's a Shadow Titan. Like, I have yet to see a Titan that was a good guy, and I have yet to see shadows represented in any fantasy setting that is in a positive, like, good light. Not one. Name me one shadow that's been represented in a positive light and never in a negative one, and I will show you a liar. Is the game controls designed for keyboard and mouse or controller? Both. I can actually say that for me, I actually mix and match between the two. Actually, there's one of the classes that I actually really like using my controller for, rather than the mouse and the keyboard. But that's just me. And like, it's one of those things I like literally, oh, I didn't like this, and I picked up the next thing and I kept playing off of that. It was literally seamless whatever. So it's up to you. You could probably have it set the way you got like your controller for like one of the things and use your mouse and keyboard for the other one or something. It's totally doable. I have to admit, it might be doable. That would be fun. Which one's the intended control scheme? They're both intended. It's designed from the ground up to work. Is mod support planned at the current time? At the moment, it's not the immediate priority because we just want to get the game working first. It might be a thing later on, though. I'll go ahead and relay that idea to them, and if there's time and all that stuff, sure. But it's, again, not an immediate priority because Ronimo's trying to make their game first. Once they've got their game, at that point, I'm sure they'll be like, okay, here's mods. But if they can put it in easily. But as it stands right now, no. Will there be any silly humor like an Awesomouts, or is it a more serious game? So, Azer, it is definitely a game that is far more mature in its intention, as far as it, the mood and the general gist of it. But Ronimo would not be Ronimo if it didn't have some tongue-in-cheek. So, although the setting itself is, like, little, like, it's eldritch. Like, it's got a lot of those kinds of themes of madness and, but it's definitely not a horror game. And at the end of the day, it's you know what? Fine, I'm borrowing this from Warhammer. It's grimdark, but it does have tongue-in-cheek. It is definitely still a Ronimo game. The characters in particular make me laugh. There's one that's just the best. When you guys know who I'm talking about, you will know who I'm talking about. So you will absolutely get there. Shadow the Hedgehog. Untrue, Sonic Adventure 2, he was a bad guy. Also, he's not a real shadow, he's a hedgehog. Also, he's really, really weird. I'll put my heart and soul into this game, just like I have for 7 years with Knots, so I hope they do the same. Yeah, I mean, we're trying. Oh, he's Case. God damn it, Malpac. Case. Hi, you should be modded by now. Please say hi again so that I can go ahead and mod you immediately. Ronimo is pretty great at putting their personality and spirit into the game. Yeah, and that's the thing. This is, like, definitely... Like, this is definitely not apotheosis is the wrong word, but like this is a synthesis of everything that currently Ronimo's kind of learned over time. There's a lot in here that shows that maturity as a developer so far, so that's been good. It's a big step up from Awesomouts in a lot of respects, but it is still very much a Ronimo game. Everything from the art to the way that it's presented to the way that they do things is it's there. I like it a lot in that respect. Is there a skill tree, i.e., the big skill tree? I can't talk about that. I can't talk about how that as that's progression. I can't talk to you how about that works. Vivian from, you know what? You got me there, Christmas. Vivian's a good shadow. You've got me. Well done. Sir Emo Chappington, I refuse to read that out loud, but you do have a good point. Can I play the game on my Rock Band guitar controller? Maybe. I'd have to try it. Are there any puzzles in the maps, or is it generally combat orientated? So it is like at the moment with this, I haven't come across a bunch of extremely like complex puzzles or anything, but there are puzzles. There are things that need to be figured out in order to make sense of it. There's obviously, it's a bit like a D&D campaign though, where people are trying to focus more on the combat. There are going to be puzzles occasionally, but at the moment development is being put into making sure that the game is mechanically there. Puzzles aren't, like, they're in there, but they're still being developed a bit more as it stands right now. So it's not like it's going to blindside you like Full Metal Furies does with its puzzles at the end of the game. Spoiler alert, there's puzzles in that game. You should go through them. They're actually a mind bender and lots of fun. But as it stands right now, they're planning on putting more in. I have a feeling that it's meant to be like that is definitely meant to be a core part of the game. So yeah, there should be. But as it stands right now, it's getting there. It's still a work in progress there, obviously. It's an early access. What did you expect? Will the lighting in the game be better than your lighting? Yes, Lynn. It will be much better. Will it be Google translated songs? No. How many abilities do revealed classes have in combat? I can't really tell you right now. There are enough to fill up a controller to a degree. So there's enough. But it's not too many. The person that makes SlowWolf laugh is probably someone who poops on people. Like, nah, rude. When we'll be getting actual new information about the game? I've been slamming information out all dang evening, Lynn. I'm trying to have a Q&A session right now, Lynn. I'm working hard, Lynn. What do you think I'm doing moving forward? I should be an Easter egg? Yikes. What time frame is the release planned for? Late 2020 at the moment. But I can't give you a solid time frame past that. Sorry. So glad to hear that from you, Wolf. Getting super hyped for this game. So am I. I just want this out there now. Will there be a VR mode in the new game? That was a joke. It'd be great. I think it'd be funny. If anything, at least we know that big taco shoulder guy is trying to play VR, so there we go. Can I play with an Xbox Kinect? I'm sure if you're crafty and know how to program one, you can maybe manage. Alright. Take care, Nibs. Can I play it with a steering wheel? Oh gosh. Wow, Hunter levels of spells? Not that. Not that. We're not getting up to like 15 toolbars filled with different things. Is recommended to use a dance pad for movement. Do each of the characters have their own themes? No. No. The game is far more cohesive. It's not that kind of game. Is it as good mechanically as not? Because the mechanics are so vastly different, and Vixie Cake, it is only PvE. It is a purely PvE game at the moment. Is it as good mechanically as not? I'd say it's satisfying. I'd say it's just as satisfying to play. You get into a groove where you start feeling out how it works, and then you start feeling good at what you do. You start getting like the idea behind it, and just look. I think it's dope. So if you want my opinion, Mega, yes, it is, but it is very much an opinion at this point. The game looks like D&D My Stara game with an art style kind of sort of like Darkest Dungeon. I don't know what the D&D My Stara game is, so I'm a little bit blank on that one. I'll have to do some research. But it is kind of sort of in the same mood as Darkest Dungeon, but it is definitely not Barassa's style. Barassa has a very iconic style for Darkest Dungeon, and it does what it's supposed to do. Blightbound is brighter than that. It does have more of a pop to it than Darkest Dungeon did, where Darkest Dungeon was just... I mean, it was colorful in its own right, but it was morose. Blightbound does have a lot more color pop to it. It does have a lot more life to it, I guess, in that sense. Which is what Ronimo's good at. It is a darker game. It is a more, like it is a grimmer game than anything else that has come out previously, particularly compared to stuff like Swords and Soldiers 2 and Awesomenauts. But it is 100% like still their game. So, more Q&A. I mean, I'm trying, Etrigan. Will Ted's pants make it into the game? Nope. Hey everyone, I missed the announcement. What's the game about? Go check there's a channel trailer. It's everywhere. It's in the Twitter, it's in the Discord, it's on the Facebooks, it's on the YouTube. Just go! It's out there. Watch it. It's like a minute and a few more seconds than that. It's worth your time. It's quick. It gives you a lot, actually. If you're looking at the trailer carefully, there's a lot in there that I've answered verbally. If you guys watch the dang thing. And Noe, thank you very much for posting the store page. That'll help a lot. You can click that and that will give you access to the trailer in the description and all that stuff as well. Thanks, by the way, for answering all these questions. It's literally my job. Literally my job. It's fine. Is it compatible with Donkey Kong bongos? No. Stop it with this meme nonsense. If I ask a question about Q&As, will that warrant additional Q&As in the future? I actually do think that when it comes to like a bigger release like this, or when it comes to updates and stuff in the future, I think it would be a good idea to have a Q&A show specifically for after when the update goes live. Even if that means I have to do it on the weekend, I think that would be a good idea. It's not going to like necessarily be based off of specifically your questions, RP, but at the same time, if there are questions, then I would like to answer them, and I think that having this kind of communication is important. So that way we can have our streamy show days where I get to show stuff off that Ronimo's been working on, and then we can have the Q&A days where you guys get to go ahead and ask questions, and I'm like going to be able to answer them. I think that kind of discussion is super important, and then that way it allows us to actually have, you know, a bit more of a conversation. Besides, I can talk a lot faster than I type, so this helps. Will there be exclusive stuff like the scoop skin? Not that I can tell of so far, but I can't really say much more than that. Let's see. Question, if I... Wait, we already did that. Do songs contain vocals, or is it all instrumental? From what I've heard so far, it is all instrumental. And the reason why is because instrumental music sets mood better than music with vocals most of the time. There will be chorale aspects to it, but it's used more for the tone and the range rather than for specifically getting across words and such. For a game like this, I think that is really important for the mood. But that's just me as a musician talking. Will the characters, heroes, have voice acting during the story elements? Yes. Will the game afford me the option to kick teammates down a hole? No. Do the classes have similar levels of deaths as a Nox character? Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about that one, so I'm going to say no. I'm not talking about that one. But I will be happy to show you later. But the thing is, though, whenever I play the character, I can't tell you about how I feel. I always feel as if there's like a million things to do, and I constantly forget that I've got cooldowns active. Like, cooldowns ready to go. So, like, take that as you will. Is Sonic Sonic Picnic is returning for the music. Heck, I can't even get you guys to listen to it a little bit. Let's see. Your skills are tied to how hard you play the bongos? Get out of here. Could you get in the zone of killing monsters left and right? Yes. As you can say, Blightbound is bound to be brighter. Bound to be blighter? Perfect combos and stuff. So far there's not like this, like, straight up, like, through 3 monster combos. But, like, I can't really say much more than that. Are these motion control requests just a cruel joke? Yes. Like Dungeon Rampage, but darker. I don't know what Dungeon Rampage is, but I hope that you're right. I don't want to break my bongos, though. Yikes. Talking about a Freudian slip, I guess. Let's see. Will you play the game on your own channel? Yes. Needs theremin control for movement? No. It's been 6 months. It's because I've been stressed out working on other things, and I mean, I'd love to show you more, but if you guys hop on, I'll be streaming tonight. I'm playing a game of Warhammer and doing some painting, so that's the reason why, really. Blame GW. What kind of progression can we expect from the main base as it gets upgraded? I honestly still haven't unlocked it all. But from what I can tell you, there are significant upgrades and significant updates to how it works out and allows the mechanics to go much deeper than they would seem at the surface level. At the moment, I can't really go any further than that, but it is significant enough to matter. Will I be able to kart race? No, Lynn. Will it be possible for us to play early access? Yes. It should be by the end of the month that early access will be able to go live, but I'm not positive about that. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's actually wrong now that I think about it some more. Look, there is going to be a playable early access. I don't know when it is. I wish it was really, really soon, but I'm probably wrong on that now. So I'm going to retract if I said anything else earlier. I don't know when early access is happening, but when it happens, you guys will be able to play it. Why can't we see a tiny bit of gameplay yet? I've been legally mandated not to by my boss. Is there going to be an in-game player economy? Currently no plans for that. Will there be added mod support for new classes, monsters, and levels? I can't comment on that, but as of right now, I don't think that that's planned. And the main reason why is because Ronimo is trying to develop it themselves right now and get their game out first. There might be after that, but... is there lots of replayability? Yes. I think that there is. But that is very subjective. Any dates? Not yet. Dates are one of the things that I know I can't really, solidly say. One news source said on YouTube that the early access would become available during the summer. Is this correct? That sounds more correct to my ear. I would imagine that is right. But for right now, nothing concrete. I still need to paint all my minis, but I think my good paint is dried up. Then get some more good paint, my dude. Admittedly, it's been hard to get paint, but we can talk about that later. Will character balance be monitored and adjusted? Well, since it's a PvE setting, it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with. But yes. How complex is the combat controls? Is it like foul play with several levels of attacks? It is not that complex. It is far more ability focused. That much I can tell you for sure, too. Too late. Clipped. No! You have to buy him dinner first? I'll take dinner. If people are buying me food, I'll take it 100%. Will the game have health potions? I can't talk about that one. I'm sorry, dude. Let's see. That's true. Red. Wait, who's red? Red Inkling. Yeah, there we go. Can you leak some gameplay like The Last of Us 2? No, I don't want to lose my job. I only just got it. Who is your boss? My direct lead is Jasper, but everybody's my boss, really, when you get down to it. I mean, we work together, but because I'm the new one on the block and I'm still learning a lot, I kind of feel like I'm responsible to everybody else. Sorry if I'm late, but is there any chance of more gameplay today? No, Seraph, unfortunately, I can't. As soon as I can, I will show you guys stuff, but I can't right now. I hope I can soon, though. What's your favorite character so far? So, let's see. I'm going to go to Blightbound.com. Blightbound, and see who you guys can see. Blightbound. Blightbound on Steam. Is it just Blightbound.com? I'm pretty sure it is. Let's find out if we're correct. I mean, it's not. It directly relates here. Sorry. So, as it stands right now, if you look at that image that's right there, there are several different heroes. The one that I'm thinking of is not there. But I like it a lot. Whatever it is. There are some good characters, though. Though the character I really enjoy, though, you'll know him when you see him when the time comes. Will there have a game with a focus on achievements for challenges? I think that's a really good way to describe where I think the progression might be naturally headed, but currently it's obviously a lot of that can still be changed and decided over time. As it stands right now, there seems to, the page seems to describe a collection of challenges and stuff like that. So as a result, I think that that's mostly what it's going for overall. Will it have better balancing than nuts? It's PvE, so I guess. Can I wear my duck medals in game? Is it going to be free to play? No. Will there be cosmetic purchasable items like the Knot skin? Not that I know of. It just goes to the Steam page. Correct. Do we have names for the currently revealed characters? No. Will there be exclusive medals like in Knots? Damn. 20 plus? At least. There are more than 3? Yes. Add Scoop to the game. He's a paladin. Get out of here. Any returning voice actors? Will we see more gameplay before early access, or will we get into early access and explore for ourselves? It's a bit dry. So, as it stands right now, there should be more gameplay before then. I know that I want to show gameplay, and one of the things I'd like to do is have a streamy show and regularly show you guys brief little updates and stuff like that of how it might look. but there's only so much I can do on my own. So as a result, and there's only so much I can do without, you know, Ronimo being ready. So, like, the rest of the Ronimos obviously have to be ready, and then it'll be my job to go ahead and promote, like, show you guys the things I can show you. So we'll get there when we get there. Are we there yet? We'll get there when we get there! God! Will we see more gameplay? Okay, we already just read that. Do we know the voice actors in the trailer? That was an awesome voice. I believe that's Devolver Digital's dude, so I'm not entirely positive. But I believe that they are the one that put together that slapped together that little thing there. Will the moon have a new face? That's the sun. And it's not going to be Majora's Mask, no. What's the best character in Smash Bros? I kind of like Simon. Cloud is deceptively fun to play too. Completely different game. Oh my god, a Link mug. Of course. And look at him! He's so cute! He's blowing a cartridge like he blows an ocarina. It's the cutest. What's the genre for the game? Action RPG. Dungeon crawler. Something along those lines. Think Gauntlet. Like Gauntlet Dark Legacy and stuff back in the day, but with more RPG elements. Can we have your favorite non-Scoldier as a playable hero in the game? Look, I let them know that there should definitely be a hero that can yeet bad guys. Simon player and the stream, I thought he was fun! Look, when it comes to Smash Bros, my two top will always be Link and Bowser. Those two will always be at the top. But with the most recent Smash Bros, there's something to be said for Greninja, there's something to be said for Simon, there's something to be said for Cloud. They're all pretty good. Okay? They're all fine. Why you gotta character shame me? It's rude. Are all the characters like magic and sword based, or are there any guns? As of right now, the setting is far more based on the is based in this like grimdark kind of fantasy setting. So there's no like guns or futuristic elements yet. Mind you, after playing games like what is it called? It's the one that looks a lot like a 2D Dark Souls, but is not Salt and Sanctuary. Death's Gambit. So in Death's Gambit, there's that one part, spoiler alert, where everything... Spoiler alert. Like, plug your ears if you actually care about it. Yeah? 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 Okay. There's one section where you, like, walk into, like, the earth, and suddenly it goes from, like, oh, high fantasy, me, to, boom! Robots everywhere. AI bad guy. Mrah! It's not a bad game, just a weird one. As far as I know, in Blightbound, that is not the case. And it's very focused on this more grimdark fantasy kind of style of thing. Granted, it's still in development, so that could change over time based off of what people want and what we want out of the game. Mostly that second one. If there's a lot of call for it, we can, like, obviously it'll be one of those things that we can definitely try to put in. Or if there's a way to kind of fit it in a way that's interesting, then that would be really cool. But as it stands right now, that does not exist in the game. Also Blasphemous. I've not played Blasphemous, so I don't know. Will we get a new version of Rafflenut's but for Blightbound? Rafflebound! Oh, that would be great! But I'm going to pass on that one. Okay, so we've been doing this for an hour. I've been talking straight for an hour. I'll take a couple more questions, and then we outie, boys. I got Castle Crashers 5 for the gameplay at the end of the trailer. Was that the goal? The idea is to have a game that plays like that. Yes, that is the mechanism through which... those are the mechanics through which you will experience the world of Blightbound. However, it is going to be probably... like, the feel will be vastly different. In Castle Crashers, it feels a lot more like a button masher most of the time. And there is far more flexibility in the characters that you play in terms of, like, stats and stuff. When it comes to the different characters in Blightbound, right now, there are ways you can play them. There are ways to customize them. But I think that it's going to focus a lot on the variety of characters you have at your disposal and getting the ability to play all of them. Let's see. Rafflebound for Evo Online. Yeah, man. How long would it take to beat? No idea. The stages are not all done yet. Can you nerf Snork? Get out. We don't talk about him here. Can I play as a pyromancer or something with an ancient gun like a musket? As of right now, No. I don't believe that that's a part of the initial release of things. But is the game free to play? No, Red. It will be a early access, pay, get game, which makes me a happy boy. It's one of the reasons why I was really sad to see the Awesome Knots, Knots pack, like the $30 thing, was just like, get all the Awesome Knots in one go, kind of like leave. That made me sad, if I'm being honest with you, but whatever, it's in the past. It was before my time anyway. Not that I have anything to do with it, not that I have any power over it, but you get the idea. I like that kind of game where you can go ahead and just pay, get all the like content that you like for the game, and then from there you can go. Like, I do that on my phone. So like, I'm really happy that Blightbound's doing the same thing. Where it's just like, you pay, you get the game. Done. There's no there's no free to play for it. Let's see. There are bosses. They will be they have so far been a lot of fun to beat, and they are difficult, yes. It's not a button masher, it actually has juggle okay, that's a fair point. But that's not what this game's going for. It's far more about timing and in terms of like getting skills and abilities to work. Will there be raid bosses? If you can't answer directly, what does the team think of the possibility of having raid-style content? At the moment, I can't like comment too hard on that, but there are bosses and stuff. There is a trailer. Yes, Oreo Bird. Go ahead and check it out. Is the early access going to last years like some games, or just a couple of months? So, I can't really comment on that one because I don't know the full lineup for things. As it stands right now, I know that the early access, the publicly available early access is like slated to start not too far in the distant future. So like on some of the pages, I think the Steam page, and I think the Devolver Digital trailer has it listed somewhere that it'll have like an early access sometime like midsummer or something, maybe. But, and this is a big but, the game still needs to be developed. Times are starting to change. Do not, like, until I have a solid date, stay calm. For the love of God, or else I'm going to need a lot more coffee to get through the next couple of months. I will lose hair. I will become bald wolf if you make this bad for me. Please don't. So I'm not sure. I think that the idea is that Ronimo wants to get it, like, through and done. Ideally, in my head, I've got it envisioned such that it'll end up like a bit like Slay the Spire, but where like it enters early access, does what it needs to do, and then becomes this just like really sick game. Are there any microtransactions? None that I can tell so far. But like, there's obviously room for it in development, so I can't comment on that really right now. So Northern Lion, get out! Out! Northern Lion hasn't had to sell out. No, but all seriously, Northern Lion works for himself and himself alone. I work for Ronimo. We're so different now. Also, look how long and luscious my hair is. I have more in common with his cat. Let's see. Is there going to be an in-game currency? As in, like, a game currency that you have to buy with real money? No. Okay. Is it similar to Dungeon Fighter Online? I don't know. I've never played the game. Console version's planned? At the moment, it's being developed for Steam. The other consoles and means of playing, I don't know. How many friends can join up with you to fight a dungeon? 2. It's 3-player. Will it be solar? The sun literally broke. Do what you will with that. Will I be able to customize my characters? No comment. So different now? Rip successful YouTuber SlowWolf? No! Looks good. Wish Knots just kept getting the love, though, but I understand. Well, okay, I can also tell you that this has been getting development time since late 2017, early 2018, shortly after when free-to-play was announced. So, gradually, the team has had to work on this game to make it the best it could possibly be, to create all the art assets you've seen already, and then the stuff that you haven't seen. And there is a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. And between that, all the mechanics, all the different heroes, all the different stories for all the different heroes, there's just a lot going on. So, are all characters friends, or are there villains in the roster? So, I can't really like go into too much detail about that, but I can say that characters do have interlinked stories, and that they do have things that overlap. It's really, really cool. It's definitely something that reminds me of a more old school kind of way of doing things in some respects. When the game is released, there's more chances for NOS to be updated potentially. Hard potentially. If the game's doing well, obviously it's going to continue to be developed. But like, it is one of those things where Awesomenauts is currently being looked at. I know that Yoast recently piped up and was talking about the sentry bug, so that's a thing. But like, there's no dev time. It needs to be put into this baby. So into the baby it goes. Will there be other races, or is everyone human? At the moment, it seems like from like all the promotional material, it seems to be human. That's what I can tell you. Umis, Wog. Will Yoast voice 5 characters? I wish, but I think that they got professionals. Will characters have synergy? They automatically do. The game is designed from the ground up to make sure that the 3 characters that you're playing as, no matter which ones that they are, will end up being synergistic in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, Stoisa, whether or not there'll be Easter eggs, Awesomenauts related or otherwise. It'd be nice, but that's up to the developers and the people that design the thing. Will we see a return of poorly chosen actors for international accents? Oh, I'm not sure. How's Yoast not professional voice actor? Yikes. Into the baby it goes? I'm stealing this phrase? No, stop, don't do that. It's bad. Okay, so I think I'm all out of questions. We're starting to get off the deep end. My throat's starting to get really drained. So, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here, because otherwise my brain will explode. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you folks enjoyed yourselves. More importantly, I hope that you guys got a lot of your questions answered, and that you're feeling a little bit more excited about the game, and I know that I am as a result. Talking about it like this has been a lot of fun for me, and being able to speak to you guys about it has obviously been a pleasure for me. If you guys have any more questions, hop onto the Discord. https://www.discord.gg/Ronimo. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm running the Ronimo Twitter and my own Twitter. You can find me all over the place, really, at this point. So, in whatever way that you get your Ronimo news, contact me there. I will be happy to answer questions as many as I can. If you start sending meme answers, I'll start sending you meme answers right back, because I'm that kind of guy sometimes. I'm not, actually. I'm terrible at it. Please just ask me questions. I don't know how to handle jokes. But yeah, it should be a good time. And all the characters are indeed voiced. Yes. So, hopefully this was helpful to you. If you see anybody else being like, I've got questions, and that they are, addressed here, let them know. Point them to here. So that way you can tell them, been there, done that. And yeah, see you guys next time.